Evolution, one of the biggest mysteries in the universe known to man. A wide-spanning concept explaining how living things adapt to the world they live on, and eventually they turn into crabs. However, in the universe of Honkai Star Rail, there is a genius who seems to be looking into this exact subject. Dr. Primitive. Yes, it has been far too long since we have discussed Mr. Return to Monkey, and ever since his brief but meaningful appearance in 3.7, I, along with many others, have speculated his connection to the path of elation. And even though Dr. Primitive's greatest feats are his crimes against humanity, these are far from his only feats. But the Doctor himself isn't the only genius who rose to relevance in the Genius Society meeting in 3.7, because we also got a surprise appearance from Genius Society member 23, Acha. And I believe these two represent the true duality in the Genius Society set to the max. Because while Dr. Primitive's prying into the evolution of humanity is a research into all things natural, Acha's existence is anything but natural. So I hope you're ready, because I definitely have some unique individuals in my Genius Society linked in the description, aka my Discord. But without further ado, this is the most insane Genius Society members explained. And just in case this part of the video sounds a little bit different from the Dr. Primitive section, this is because I had to re-record this because for some reason I kept calling Acha Acha. Reading is hard. Anyway, on with the video. Okay. So before we get into He Who Skates Through Space, let's talk about one of the least known geniuses in the universe who is possibly one of the most mysterious that we know about, Acha. Now, I guess you are wondering, what could Nova possibly say about Acha? I mean, nothing really is stated about this individual at all. But, like I always say, what we do know about a character can always be extrapolated on. For example, the Genius Society meeting wasn't the first time we ever heard about Acha, because the first time she was mentioned was when Herta was thinking about who was piloting the scepter.
Currently, the most likely candidates are these few. The Lord of Silence, Acha. Oh, the two Ruperts are also possible. But it would be too boring if it were one of them.
So we know that this is a rather devious person we are dealing with if she was on Herta's radar from day one. We also know that she is called the Ghost of the Quantum Domain.
As the ghost of the quantum domain.
And the first thing that comes to mind when I think of a quantum domain is the Sea of Quanta. And before I go on, let me explain what that is. You see, the Sea of Quanta is a living domain that predates the imaginary tree. In fact, the tree was birthed from the sea, and now they rival each other for supremacy, with the tree trying to drink the sea and the sea trying to drown the tree. And the way these two entities interact is simple but complicated in GOJO fashion, because the imaginary tree grows leaves, and these leaves are the universes that we play in the GOJO verse. But some of these universes are not as stable as others, and some even die. And when this happens, they fall from the tree into the Sea of Quanta, where they exist as fragmented bubble universes, with some characters being trapped or even sealed inside of said bubble universes. It is a domain that exists alongside the imaginary tree where contemporary laws do not apply and dead universes are collected. But if a person is inside of the Sea of Quanta, it is possible that their memories can just spawn another bubble universe. So in this way, the Sea of Quanta it's kind of like Fu Lee's Pure Land, but for universes. But it's so unstable that it also collects dreams that may or may not have ever existed. So looking at it that way, it's rather easy to see how it's easy to get trapped there. So if Acha is the ghost of the Sea of Quanta, she is either able to traverse it easily, which is a feat only the likes of Kevin and Welt Yang have done, or she is able to slip in and out of the Sea of Quanta without even being trapped, which is even more crazy, and it really fits the ghost title. So let's go with that one, because Kevin and Welt were smart, but I don't think they are on the level of a genius. So I guess you are wondering, why did you just explain all of this to me? Well, it's because Acha is supposed to be dead. Like, long dead. Not only due to old age because she is Genius Society member number 23 and even predates Rupert 1, but Rupert's army is supposed to have killed her in Mechanical City, which is now on present-day planet Screwlum. So yeah, in order to explain how it is that Acha survived is through the Sea of Quanta. If she can just slip between reality and bubble universes, she can live for an indefinite amount of time, even as a normal human. She is nearly unkillable. And in that way, I wonder if she can actually live through universal destruction. But that aside, at the very least we have an idea of how it is that she lived and is still alive now and is considered a ghost. Anything but natural. But that's not all, because this curious ghost lady seems to be close friends with a big, bad, scary scalpel lady in a candy-colored dress, Polka Kakama.
It really is this little witch. I shouldn't have made the bet with you, Polka.
And this is crazy because I didn't think Polka was the type of person to really be on speaking terms with anyone. But if you really think about it, both of these things they are studying involve things that impact the imaginary tree, the Sea of Quanta and the Void. But other than that, and not just consistent favor for machinery.
So, if you're happy to bring me a tea set from planet Screwlum, then I wouldn't mind giving you a helping hand, little witch.
Also, if Acha just uses her abilities to observe, she has no chance of ticking off Polka by doing dangerous stuff. And as I told you earlier, planet Screwlum was where Acha was supposed to have died. So at least we know why she was staying there in the first place. She likes mecha stuff. And if I were to speculate on the reason why she does what she does, I would say that she says her duty is to observe, because if she experiences things in this universe, she can recreate this universe as a bubble universe in the Sea of Quanta, just in case this world dies. And doing this just requires her memories. So she observes and acts as a memo keeper for the Sea of Quanta, slipping in and out of the Sea of Quanta just like memo keepers slip in and out of the Pure Land to deliver memories and help Fu Li. So none of this is official, but it would make perfect sense as to why she does what she does, because every genius is altruistic. Even Xandar and Rupert, as hard as that is to believe, every genius acts only for what they think is the greater good for humanity, even if it really isn't. And that is all I can glean from Genius Society member number 23. But what about 64? Instead of the Genius Senior to Rupert 1, what about the Genius Senior to Rupert 2? Another individual who is very old. None other than the goofiest genius in the cosmos, Dr. Primitive. And unlike Acha, we don't have to speculate much about this guy. He kinda has noted feats. But before we dive into the silliness of his antics, let's talk about his motivation. Because the reason why I say he is looking into evolution is explained by his devoted underlings. So let's go back in time to recall some facts from 2.6, shall we?
In order to save the world's marching towards rot and decay, humanity must regress, and regress further. Only then will civilization be imbued with endless possibilities yet again, allowing erudition to shine with kaleidoscopic rays once more.
Now, what the Umbra Headmistress means by this is that their goal is to reverse evolution back to when humanity was a blank slate to allow Nous to guide humanity to the optimized path of evolution. A crab! I'm joking. But this peak of evolution would involve stronger minds and faster bodies, and faster minds and stronger bodies, and as a test of this peak of human potential, they created Rappa, an amalgamation of the strongest optimized ape genes they could find.
That specimen is the new human that our laboratory painstakingly bred with genes filtered from the atavistic experiments.
Rappa is basically a genetically modified superhuman so strong that hitting her barehanded only results in causing you pain.
Ah! Muscle fibers sure are densely packed. It's like slapping a rock.
So they are well aware that this is effective. The way they see it, there is only a narrow straight line of evolution that needs to be maintained for humanity to be perfected.
There's only one horizontal axis on erudition's coordinate system. Everything else is an impediment to progress.
And only Nous is capable of achieving this. So looking at it from this perspective, we know why evil ninja Osaru turns people into monkeys. He wants to allow Nous to explore and extrapolate on human evolution and also help humanity achieve perfection. And this is is why I also believe that Noose chose Dr. Primitive as an emanator, because allowing Noose to explore evolution is a universal mystery and thereby aligning with what Noose wants to do. But I guess you are wondering, isn't that kinda immoral? Just doing all of this against people's will? Well, this is actually explained.
On Bacchus 2, morality is how every family's second son must be sacrificed to Nanook. On the interstellar principality of Pegasus, morality is how bipedal organisms must be enslaved by quadrupedal ones. On the Capicala planet, morality is how blue-eyed individuals are forbidden from walking on the streets. Morality has bound the wisdom of those people and ended the future of those worlds. That was why Dr. Primitive chose them as targets of the atavistic experiment.
Worlds like Bacchus 2, Interstellar Principality of Pegasus, and Capicala are worlds held back by foolish practices and discriminatory cultures. So, in the eyes of someone like the Doctor, they are suitable to be turned into apes because it seems evolution did them dirty as it was. They are so stupid that they sacrifice their children to Nanook, enslave each other based off of how their legs work, and discriminate by eye color. So Dr. Primitive thinks he is doing them a service by allowing them to be the first to be guided by Noose to perfection. Dr. Primitive basically says, you're stupid because evolution did you dirty. Let me help you reset it. That is his motivation and has led to our misunderstood friend here to be labeled as a wanted man for his crimes against humanity, and has thus been targeted by the Galaxy Rangers. So this is where we get to talk about Dr. Primitive's antics, because this manhunt has led to the creation of his Gravity Walker boots. Boots fitted with gravity capture technology of his own design that allows him to speed skate through space, a sight so spectacular that even Galaxy Rangers had to admit just how impressive this was. He does not need a ship or a base, bro just walks through space probably laughing the whole time because he genuinely enjoys being chased. Never too far to be untraceable, but never too close to ever get caught. He rage baits his pursuers. This guy is silly, but also smart because remember, the Rangers have taken down a Lord Ravager before. So it's not like they aren't competent. They are good at what they do, but Evil Ninja Osaru is just on another level. But I've got another feat for this guy because have you heard of his glue? Or rather, his supreme glue? Now, back when I made a video about this guy, the Divergent Universe wasn't a thing, but we got an update with this one. Get this. Because apparently while performing a forbidden experiment, the planet he was inhabiting broke apart. And do you know what Dr. Primitive did? He glued it back together again. I love this guy. It says he laughed, pulled this glue out of his pocket, and just used it to glue the planet back together again. It was like he somehow planned for this moment, and he was just waiting to do this. Initially, no one even really knew why he made this and even mass-produced it, but one day he just dropped a ton of it behind himself while he was being pursued, and some merchants collected it, claiming that this glue could fix anything. So some people built houses using it, some people made bombs because why not? And somebody even tried to, and I lie to you not, fix their broken relationship with the glue, resolving to glue themselves to their partner. I don't know who in GOJO writes these things, but keep cooking. I love this. I love that this story can go from tragedies to whatever side quest Dr. Primitive is on. But anyway, I, along with many other theorists, have speculated that Dr. Primitive is also an Elation follower. But you know, geniuses always tend to double dip or even triple dip in paths if you're Ron May. And the reason why I personally think he is Elation is because this guy has to know that evolution takes millions of years. And the universe is not going to last that long with beings like Nanook 2 seconds from blowing everything up, rendering all of Dr. Primitive's work pointless. And you know what Dr. Primitive does? He laughs at this impending doom and continues trying to achieve perfection for humanity. This guy doesn't care if he reaches his goal or not. He is in it for the love of the game. And this is reflected through the part he played in 3.7.
Goodness gracious me! So many familiar faces. We even have a special guest. It's that greatest failure of a genius, Xandar.
Just there, for the fun of it. And in this way, he is researching the peak of all things natural in evolution, and contrary to him, Acha is the ghost of the Sea of Quanta, a denial of all things natural. They are the duality of the Genius Society, both incredibly smart people with insane feats and even loftier goals, but in the end they are two sides of the same coin. Something natural and something that is the polar opposite to the idea of all that is natural in the imaginary tree. Xandar found the tree and Acha found the sea. And the Doctor is just out here doing whatever. And I sincerely hope that we see this guy in Planet Arcadia, because this is the most insane Genius Society members explained. Low-key, I am happy with this break GOJO has given us, not gonna lie, because without this gap, videos like this would not have been made, or pushed back way further. And I do think Dr. Primitive, as our Elated Genius, will make an appearance in Planet Arcadia. Yeah, I think any and everyone with connections to Elation will show up in this world of laughter. But most of all, I hope we get more on Sampo, because my fellow theorists have been ranting and raving about this guy for longer than I have even been a theorist for. The upcoming story is going to be absolutely insane, and I can't wait for a trailer or something to analyze, because y'all already know that I predicted Amphorius' overarching story just from the Nameless Faces trailer. So I want to see if I can go 2 for 2, or if the Enigmata allegations will finally win. What do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace, y'all.